Hey y'all, iRick Guy here, and I wanted to provide a quick review of the Oculus Go. Now, I've been using the Oculus Go for 1 day now, so I wanted to provide a quick review after using it for 1 day. So, if you're interested in the Oculus Go and the various accessories, expand this video's description and you can find a link to the Oculus Go there. I've got the 32 gig Oculus Go, but there's also a 64. So, I've found the 32, at least so far after 1 day of use, to be more than sufficient. So let me give you a very summarized background. I've been involved with computer games since I built my 286 computer and was playing Wolfenstein. So, I go way back, and obviously I played first-person shooter games on the PC, played the original Battlefield, and haven't played a lot of games recently. I was a big gamer in the past. But what drew me to the Oculus Go, number one, is the price, and number two is the fact that it can function without being tethered to a computer. And that's what's kept me away from VR, from virtual reality for a while, has been that with most of the other VR options, one is tasked with, number one, spending a lot for the VR equipment, but not just the goggles and the sensors. They got to be positioned in the environment. And then on top of that, there's got to be a powerful computer, and that computer probably has to have a graphics card upgrade, so it can become quite costly very quickly. And that's what's so cool about this. It's an all-in-one, standalone VR experience. And that's actually what made me hesitate before I broke down and bought the Oculus Go, because I was like, how can something that affordable? Sure, it's still expensive, but how can something that affordable within the VR space provide any sort of quality? So, I was on the fence, and I hesitated several times, and then I'm like, you know what? It's not that expensive. Why don't I give it a shot? And I'll tell you, I'm super stoked and super satisfied that I gave it a shot, because this thing has beyond blown my mind. And one thing I will tell you, and you've probably been through the same hoops if you're watching this video, you're probably on the fence, should I buy the Oculus Go, should I not? And you've probably watched several videos, you've probably read blog posts, you may have a few friends or co-workers that are involved with VR, and maybe they've got an Oculus Go. But until you've strapped it on your own head, you can't appreciate the experience. There's no video, there's no article, there's no face-to-face conversation that I've had that has accurately described the Oculus Go experience. And again, I probably won't be able to accurately describe it either, but what I will say is that once you put one of these on, you definitely feel as if you're transported into another world. You feel like it is reality. It's not like a virtual reality experience from the past, or a 3D TV where it's like, man, that's kind of neat, but, there's no pause and no but with this. I mean, this thing is awesome. And the first thing when you fire it up, at least for me, when I fired it up and I had everything, you pair it with your phone initially just to install the firmware update and the initial setup, and that's it. Then it's a standalone device. But I was when I first fired it up and I was in this environment, and you can change your environment for your main menu, your home screen. But I was in this environment, and I was looking down, and I actually felt really freaked out because I'm afraid of heights. I mean, it is not a let's pretend like we're playing a traditional computer game or console game. It's not like a let's pretend that we're there type experience. It is, I'm actually there, but I've got to convince myself that I'm not, so I can stay sane in the head and continue to enjoy this virtual reality experience. That's how realistic it is. And that's just the home screen. What's so awesome about this is that, and again, like most any technology, it's going to continue to evolve. But what's so awesome about this right now is that it is way beyond proof of concept. The video quality on this is absolutely incredible. The sound, even though this has a headphone jack, the sound is absolutely phenomenal. And there's several, and I'm going to post a series of follow-up videos to talk about the specific games. But there's several games that I've already tried during my first day that when those monsters or whatever are in your face, I mean, it feels like they are there. It is, I don't know, again, I don't know how to explain it. It's one of those things that you got to strap it on and see for yourself. But the audio is really cool, and the audio is built in. It's hidden in this, somewhere in the sides. But, for example, in certain games, you hear something behind you, like a monster or something coming behind you, you can tell where it is because the audio is so realistic. It's like, okay, it's back there, and then you look around and you see that monster or whatever. And the audio is just incredible. I don't know why I would want to use, even though it has a headphone jack, it's nice that it has it, but I don't know why I would want to use a headphone. I mean, why I would want to use headphones rather because the integrated audio is absolutely phenomenal. And again, the video is phenomenal. So, I mean, this thing, something else I'm going to talk about here, we're just going to go through everything after the first day of use. It's very lightweight, and it's padded. The inside is very padded. So to have it on my face, number one, I don't feel like I've got something that's too heavy. Number two, I don't have something that feels like it's going to irritate my skin. And it's these straps on the top being, I would call it like an elastic waistband, like a pair of underwear. It's very comfortable, and it's adjustable, obviously. It's just adjustable there, and then also here. And I've got a big head, and it fits me fine. But again, this inside part is very soft, very comfortable against one's skin. So from a comfort perspective, they've knocked it out of the park. And one of the most important things is that, well, you know, when I put this on my face, does it effectively block out the light? This does an incredible job of blocking out the light. So, I mean, they've really knocked it out of the park with the design. Some people have complained about the battery life. The battery life is, and from what I experienced the first day, around 2 hours. And depending upon the application that one is, the applications and/or games that one's using, that could vary, obviously. But it's got a little micro USB on the side to use to charge it. And it's not recommended, but what I've done is I've plugged in an extended aftermarket micro USB cable that I've got, and you can find that within this video's description too. But it was not recommended, but I plugged it in and I was able to not have to worry about, you know, watching my battery. But in real world use, someone's probably not going to use this continuously for more than 2 hours. I mean, some people may. I wouldn't want to. But that brings us to another interesting feature that this has, and that's and I'm just talking about apps that I've found so far and that I've experienced in the first day of use. But there's a Netflix app. If you've got a Netflix account, and this will blow your mind, but it's like you're transported to this cabin, and you're sitting on this really nice sofa. You look to the side. There's pillows on the sofa. You can see all the little pieces of fabric. I mean, the level of detail is incredible. You look up, you can see stuff. You look off to the left, you can see out in the mountains, the mountain view from your cabin. That's a really cool thing. And then for watching videos, there's it's like this theater, and you go into this theater. It's this huge theater with really nice seats. You're kind of in the optimal position, kind of, you know, not on the front row, but not at the very back. You're sort of in the middle, and you're sort of in the middle of the row. There's nobody else in there, and you can look around the entire theater. And then there's a screen in front of you. It feels like you are in a theater. I mean, it's again, pick one up, check the link within this video's description. You can find where to order it there. I got, like I said, this is just the 32, but there's the 64 gig version there as well. But it's so realistic. The interface, you've got a web browser. You can go to YouTube. You can watch 360-degree spherical videos. And when you're watching those, you know, you can look around in all directions. This, and it hasn't been an issue for me, but this is not like the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive that you're tethering to a computer that has all the sensors where you walk around. this doesn't enable you to walk around. So if you're going to walk around, you're using the controller. But even without walking around, if I'm watching a movie and I'm sitting on the sofa, I am on that sofa, or I'm in that theater chair. And when you look around, you can look in all directions, up, down, everywhere, because you're part of that environment. It is so cool. That brings us to another thing that I've experienced, and that's the app. It's called Oculus Room. It's basically your house, and you've got multiple rooms, and you can change the pictures on the wall. You can add your own photos, from Facebook, or I think you can add it from other sources as well. I just added mine from Facebook, and then you can change the floor, the furniture, the time of day, and in this virtual home, you've got like an entertainment system, so that's another way you can watch video. It's loaded with features. Again, this is not a proof of concept. This thing is loaded to the gills with features. And again, within one day, I've only been able to experience so much. And I'm not a huge gamer, but I did get my feet wet with games. There's a fishing game that I played. It was super cool. You're casting the rod and reel. Again, looking around. You're in this virtual environment. It's super cool. I did this horror game. It was supposed to scare you, and it was extremely scary. Because again, you're completely immersed within this environment. You're seeing all this stuff go on. This is the most unexpectedly exciting thing that I purchased in several years. And I'm a big drone guy. If you're a subscriber to my channel, youtube.com/irixguy. If you're not, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell to be notified whenever I post another video. But drones have been a big thing of mine. And that's actually kind of what steered me towards the Oculus Go, is that with this, I can watch my YouTube videos in a 3D, in a VR environment. So it adds an extra degree of awesomeness to the videos. Now, I don't have a drone with a VR camera yet, with a 360 camera. But as soon as I get a drone with a 360 camera, filming those videos and then watching those videos with this headset will in essence be like sitting on top of that drone and looking in all directions. So the future for VR is awesome. And I don't understand the at least my perception, looking online and chatting with others, my perception about VR is that it's not really, it hasn't really caught on yet. And I don't know if that's because people haven't taken the time to pick up a headset. Now with this being as affordable as it is, it's hard not to. And once one picks up a headset, probably going to get hooked, because it's an awesome technology. And again, this is standalone, so you don't have to have a computer hooked up to it. You don't have to put those wall sensors up, any of that. You just strap it on, power it up, strap it on, charge it, power it up, and go. It's got a volume button on the top. It's got a power button on the top, and again on the side, like we mentioned, it's got the headphone jack and the micro USB. So, and as far as how do you get apps and how do you get games, there's a ton of it's got a built-in app store, and you'll understand it if you pick one up. You're navigating the store. There's a ton of free stuff. I haven't purchased anything yet, because with only using it for one day, I want to see the type of content that I like first, and see if there's a particular game or app that I feel would be fun to purchase. So I haven't, and there's a roller coaster game that'll blow your mind, and I've been messing with the roller coaster game. But it's so much newness to explore. It's an experience that's very difficult to explain. Because as soon as I got my OcuSync, as soon as I got my Oculus, OcuSync is a drone communications technology, by the way. But as soon as I got my Oculus Go, I immediately felt relieved because I'm like, well, I was on the fence about getting it because I just didn't hear that much buzz, and the videos that I watched and the people that I talked to, the explanations and the visuals provided didn't do it justice. But as soon as I strapped it on my head, I was blown away. So just to kind of recap, after using Oculus Go for one day, who might be the customer for Oculus Go? Well, someone that's looking for something exciting, something new and fun to play with. The technology is rapidly evolving. Someone that wants to watch TV, Netflix or a movie, and they want that big screen experience, but they don't want to have to buy that big screen or go out to a theater or something like that. Basically put a virtual theater on your head, which is super cool. This device, in my opinion, is worth purchasing for watching videos alone. If that's all that someone does with this is watch movies, watch videos, YouTube videos or download videos, you can copy files over this. You can pair it with your computer, with your Mac or your PC. I haven't filmed a tutorial at the time of filming this video, but that's something I'm going to put together is show you how to copy, say you've got a video file that you want to put on your Oculus. I'll show you how you can transfer it over. It's not difficult. But just for a video consumption device, it's super cool. If you're a gamer, and let me caution people here. So there's gamers that are, your hardcore PC gamer or your hardcore console gamer. Someone that expects a tremendous amount of content from a game. At this point in time, and again, I've only used it for one day, but I haven't found a really fleshed out game, like let's say, for example, a Battlefield game. I love Battlefield. That was one of my favorite video game series. I haven't found something like that on the Oculus Go yet. So for hardcore gamers, the content may not be here yet. But for someone that's kind of abandoned gaming, I haven't gamed for several years. I'm running this YouTube channel. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I've found things that I enjoy doing more than playing a game. But for a casual gamer that wants a beyond immersive experience, something that, again, will leave one to question, is this reality? That's how realistic this is. It's like, is that real? And then you take it off and it's like, wow. You saw my cat, Sean Coonery. He was up on the table a second ago. And I was doing VR with my Oculus Go. And I was totally in, another world. In my mind, I was in another world. I put my hand down, he bit my hand. So, it's one of those things that's so realistic that it really bends reality. What is real, what's not. So with that being said, have a safe environment. If you're gonna be walking around and looking in all directions, because certain VR experiences in here, you're gonna want to stand up. If you are, be aware of what's around you. Don't put anything in close proximity that's dangerous or stuff that you don't want to accidentally damage. Also, same goes for sitting. If you're sitting in the theater, be aware of what's on your, within arm's reach of you, or leg's reach, because you don't want to forget that that's not reality and knock over a glass of water or something like that. So it's a very, very cool experience. And just the experience, and I don't know how someone would do this. I'm madly addicted to this. I go to sleep thinking about this, and I wake up thinking about it because it's so cool. And it's not just because it's new. Again, I've only used it for one day, but it's just learning what all how VR is going to change the world. Because I feel confident that it's the next big technology. And I've been filming videos on my YouTube channel. Search my YouTube channel, IRickSky360, and you can find the 360 videos that I filmed. And what's cool is watching those videos, now that I have Oculus Go, it really brings purpose to those videos that I filmed in the past. Because when I watched them in the past, I was just going into Chrome web browser and panning or scrolling up, scrolling down, and watching the video in all directions. But with this, you're there because you move your head and you can look around in all directions. So it's just it's such a phenomenal experience. And again, one of the coolest, and I'm a huge drone guy. This, for me, the rush that I've gotten from this is right up there with the rush that I got when I flew my first drone, when I flew the Phantom 1. That was such an unreal and incredible experience because it was so new. It was like no other experience in the past, no other similar experience from the past. Same with this. This is real. This is not the, oh, we're going to make a 3D TV, or, oh, this is virtual reality from 20 years ago. No, this is the real deal. And it's all standalone and it's affordable. And that's what's so cool about it. So stay tuned to for more videos here on my channel because I'm just getting my feet wet. This is my Oculus Go review after 1 day using. So I hope my thoughts and opinions provided value. If they did, feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you're looking to get an Oculus Go, expand this video's description. You can find a link to get the Oculus Go there. Again, at the time of posting this video, they have a 32 and a 64. I just got the 32 gig version. It's been more than enough. From my observations, downloading free apps and free games, the largest game that I've run into so far, I think, was around 800 megs. So that's not even 1,000. When you're thinking of 32 gigs, that's like 32,000. So, just kind of put it in perspective there. But if you're going to be putting a lot more media on there and you don't want to delete it, you may want to consider the 64. But again, expand this video's description. You can find both of the Oculus Go models there. And I'm going to post a lot more videos as I learn more about the Oculus Go. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Iric Sky here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.